Hey, what's going on, everyone? I know, right? Double face. Confusion all around. But there's nothing to be confused about. This is KeyThoughts. But I'm deciding to take this down a different path than I normally did, which is a follow-up to the previous KeyThoughts. And I wanted to actually go in here and look at some of the comments people had based on what I said, because I thought it was quite interesting. People were really actually, let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. There we go. So everyone can read everything better. I just wanted to actually take this time to talk about the way people responded to what I said, because I mentioned how the game is in hiatus and people need to stay positive, and also that I was feeling a little frustrated the way things are, but I think we're actually in a pretty good place in the end. And we saw that, or when I say we, I'm hoping people saw, the community, that there was a message on Board Game Geeks by Richard Garfield talking about how the game is actually being worked on. So I just wanted to go over, this is kind of a follow-up, like I said, to the last KeyThoughts video, and see how people responded to my video talking about it. And I really appreciated the abundance of comments that came. And let's just get into that. There's going to be no card of the week this week, because this is something a little bit different. So see, Josh T here says, it's been a rough time to be a KeyForge fan, and the game has been carried through uncertain times on the backs of content creators and community efforts for a long time now. It's frustrating to see so many people put so much effort and time into KeyForge while FFG and Asmodee refuses to do or say anything at all for months on end. Their interaction feels tragically mismanaged. It would be so easy for them to tweet a preview card or something every week or two to keep the conversation going, but it feels like we've been ghosted instead. Not giving up on KeyForge, but less and less of my time is devoted to it. And at this point, I just hope when it starts back up, they get it right and we don't have to go through this all over again. I mean, Josh has a good point here, and it's unfortunate to have to say that I think that this has kind of been a trend with the way FFG does some things. It's just the way it is. This is maybe the way they have decided to go about media, because it'd be one thing for KeyForge to be like this, and it's an anomaly, but unfortunately this is just the way they operate. I still hold out that Gen Con, we will get an announcement if we are going to get anything this year. It is the time when things are said. It is when hype is built. And to have something coming out of the pipe right before Christmas seems like a logical time of deployment to have something for people to get excited about again. So we'll have to stay tuned and see what happens. Here we got Vex84, another great video. As yourself and everyone has also said, I hold on to hope that we can see more KeyForge and that Winds of Exchange comes out and the game can continue forward. Yeah, that's how we all feel, and I think that's what we will see. Appreciate what you are doing and what you've done for the health of the game. I've been nervous about the game, and for a while myself been sitting on some 150 plus decks that will allow me to enjoy the game forever, regardless if it comes back or not. There's so much potential with this game and the world they've built. It would be really a shame to let it. Yeah, exactly. This is true. There is so much going on, and the truth is, I think a lot of us have a lot of decks kicking around that can be utilized in many ways, actually. So why not just keep knowing the fact that we have this together and we are doing great? So it's really nice. And then there's also this next message here from KeyFlocks. I can't stress enough how much you, the HFF crew, Call of Discovery boys, and every other KF content creator are central to keeping the game alive in this time of deafening silence. Also super grateful we have an awesome community organizing truly amazing challenging events. Shout out to NKFL and their super tough league and a really cool format that's pushing all my skills to the tests. I keep hope that FFG will sort things out and bring back our beloved game from the brink. Either way, as you mentioned in the comments, even without anything new, we can still enjoy KF forever. 2.6 million decks out there guarantees we'll never experience the same game twice. Super true. I mean, that is the one great thing about this game, is that there is an abundance of decks, and there is also so many different interactions you can have. So like I said, there's very unique things, and in this video I believe I mentioned how, because you're not building decks, it puts everything in a unique position where you're not having cards that die. The fact that you can't change anything and you can learn, that means you can just literally take a deck you've never played because it didn't seem super spicy or for whatever reason, and just start playing it and discover what it does. It's not like you're forced to utilize the deck and what it provides. Not like in other things where you can just slot in a card or not, and then you have a whole bunch of cards just sitting fallow, not being used at all. So that's kind of a nice thing to always keep in mind with KeyForge. You could literally grab any deck, and if it's not good for whatever reason, find another deck you have that kind of fits the same mold, and just have those go against each other. You can create nice deck pairings, which I've mentioned in the past. My man Steve, we're keeping the faith. Can't wait to buy a next set display to get started. We have Matt. FFG has been poorly run from a communication and computer standpoint for years. See, it doesn't help that they have an algorithm software problem during a time of insane inflation. I'm hopeful they bring back KeyForge with a vengeance, but I can't say I'm confident about it. The worst case scenario, I'll keep playing what I have. I don't know why. Oh, maybe I need to zoom out just a little bit. I'll keep playing what I have. Really want them to survive, though. Yeah, we all do. No one wants to see this go under. And I think it's going to be great. I truly think this will be great. I think the outcome, no matter what, is going to be great. So now we have RS Longhill. FF used the lack of communication effectively years prior because they were the big dog at Gen Con and elsewhere. Everyone knew they had something big coming. It would probably be the star of the con and the hotness until Christmas. That ship has sailed, in my opinion, and they need to change for the health of the community. It's such a contrast to see what Atomic Mass is doing with the miniature games and their comms with their customers. That is a good point as well. Like I said, they have been doing this for a while, but maybe it's time for them to reevaluate their own communication and the way they disseminate information and build hype for games, and kind of review a open communication, because that's maybe where we are right now. So we'll just have to see. We will have to see. But yeah, it's a good point that this is happening. And I, like I said as well, the spikes of the game are going to move on to Flesh and Blood, because that is the hotness right now and has a really strong competitive scene. And I wonder what losing spikes from a game does to the overall community, the system, all that stuff. I think it's an interesting experiment that you lose spikes but keep other core groups of player profiles, and I think it's really interesting to see how that's shaping out. Jackman, you've always made fantastic content and you're a treasure to the community. Oh, wow. All the feels right there. Game never dying. Yep. I can play a unique deck once a day for over 2 years. Amazing. Bring back Mars, bring back KeyForge. FFG sucks for dropping the ball when the community carried the game through COVID. We will, honestly, so there's something being said here about FFG dropping the ball and all this stuff, but there's actually an interesting thing here. The rhetoric of the community carrying, that is actually incredible. If a game only survives based on how involved the creators of the game are, the game is actually not that strong. Having a community that can band together and keep things moving without the manufacturer, without the company that created the game present as much, says a lot about KeyForge as a game and the ability for it to endure. So that is also an amazing thing that we have. So just keep that in mind. Don't ever forget that we are such a strong community, and we should be blessed for having that, because it is way more of a boon than anything else. So keep that in mind. And then Daniel Busto says, feels like Glimmer would have been a more appropriate card of the week instead of Punctuated Equilibrium. You know what? That's a good point. Ember Meaties just said Richard Garfield said they're working on it. And I think FFG says something too. Yep. So Foyo Games, We got our fingers crossed. Everyone, I just wanted to take this time because I really appreciate a lot of the comments everyone had last week in relation to my key thoughts from the other week. And I just appreciate everyone chiming in, letting me know what they think, sharing their opinion and everything. It was great to see. So I just wanted to have a follow-up to acknowledge some of those, and well as have a discussion, because I think this is important that we keep in mind the strength of the community, and what is left after we lose some of the spikes is not necessarily the worst thing. There's still the ability to enjoy this game at a very high level and also in a casual level, which is almost more fun in some instances. So thanks everyone. And as always, keep the faith, keep forging, and may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.